Awesome.
Hello, how's
Hi
it going?
guys,
Epic,
how are you?
epic t-shirt, by the way. Well done.
Thank you. Thank
Big
you.
things
Everybody loves
coming.
this t-shirt. It goes down a treat with everyone.
Yeah.
Also, since you have an 80s legend in your film, it's kind of right. Guys, huge congrats on the film.
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much.
I had such a great time with it, and everybody in my screening had such a great time
Yeah,
with it. I
oh
think
good.
it was one of those screenings where when you go, you could just feel that everybody's really excited to see it. Everybody's, you know, looking forward to going back into the world. I wanted to ask you both. I mean, you've both worked for Pixar and Disney for a while. Pixar, I'm saying Pixar, Disney. Um, and they've made sequels. And back in my day when I was a kid, they all went straight to DVD or straight to video, and there was a little bit of a different feel about them. So I just wondered how you guys go through the process of deciding which ones you want to touch, which ones you don't want to touch, and which ones you have to try and be a little bit convinced on.
Yeah, I think, well, the way kind of our process works at Disney Animation, we are a director-driven studio in the sense that the directors want to tell the story. That those are the films that they're directing because we work so hard and it's so difficult to make these films. We need, of all people, we need the directors and the producers really invested in this film because we spend so much time doing it. And so with the world of Zootropolis, it really Byron and Jared kind of started this world years ago, and there are infinite number of stories we can tell. I mean, if you think of Zootropolis as a city on a continent in a world of animals, there are so many different stories that you can tell. And
Yeah.
do you want to talk about why?
Yeah, I'd say most importantly, it has to be built for as many animal puns as possible. And luckily, Zootropolis is a town where that's possible. Some of the other movies, you can't do as many animal puns, and that's really, for me, the deciding factor.
Great.
To be fair, I did start making. I haven't got my notebook with me, but I did start making a list of all of the things, and then all the in jokes, and then I don't want to
Yeah.
spoil it for anyone, but then another character pops up, and everyone was just like, "Oh my goodness,
Yeah.
it's crazy." In this as well, It's interesting that with a sequel, you could go to different places and different time, and you can jump forward in time. With this one, you didn't make that decision. I just wondered why you made the decision to keep it quite close in terms of time frame to the original one. I guess because it's animated, but also story wise, I don't know how that kind of played into your thinking.
Well, we experimented with a lot of different versions, to be honest. I think over the 4 to 5 years it takes to make one of our films, we're not just trying to perfect it over those 4 to 5 years. We're actually really experimenting and trying a lot of different avenues. So we actually did do a version that was 5 years into the future when you came into the story. And then, one of the things that you were sort of thinking about as you're looking at it, you went, I think but what happened? I think we're sort of catching up with the characters and we found ourselves having to then explain later what had happened in those 5 years. And so that's not a great way to get, people invested in the story. And then we tried maybe a year out and that wasn't right. And maybe a month. And finally, yeah, it's just the next week. And what was great about that is this really is a story that continues this dynamic between Judy and Nick. And you want it to be immediate because they just solved the case in the previous movie, but the question of this one is now what? They're very different characters, and yes, they succeeded the last time. That doesn't mean they're destined to stay together in the long run because they are very different. And so it was really fun for us to play with those dynamics in real time.
Yeah, you've got a fantastic cast coming back. You've got a new cast coming in. There's some fantastic kind of cameos in there as well. I just wondered in terms of the voice acting of it all. I'm always, as a fan, not disappointed, but I understand the kind of rhythms in terms of you have to record at different times
Yeah.
and post COVID, it's much more difficult for you guys to do that. Is that kind of a sadness for you guys in the sense that sometimes you're just like, oh, it'd be so good if we were able to have them in a room or have them in a room for longer if we possibly could?
I'll let you dig it.
Oh, you let me. I
Because
mean, I will say this, that we are really lucky to have the cast that we do on Zootropolis too. It is a joy. So many of our cast members are accomplished comedians and amazing improv actors, and they go to such different places than you might anticipate. It's really fun. I'd say part of our process is the fact that we are constantly iterating. We're trying different things. And so when an actor comes in, we try scenes many different ways. Something that I usually talk about with the cast is we're not looking for here's the perfect read that we have in our minds and we're hoping that they hit that perfect read. We actually try the same line 20, 30 different ways because we may say, well, maybe it's a quieter moment, or you may be farther away, or you may be doing something strenuous, and let's see what that feels like. Or maybe the subtext is more buried or more on the surface. And so it's helpful to us to record separately for that reason, because we have so many different versions we're trying out. It's good to be able to try that. That said, we actually don't always record folks separately. So Macaulay Culkin and Brenda Song, they they're a couple in real life. They're siblings in this movie, so to have them together made a lot of sense because they could really riff off of one another. Same thing with Bonnie Hunt and Don Lake, who played Judy's parents. They've worked together for decades, and so with them you kind of go, here's kind of the gist of the scene, enjoy, and then they just give you gold back and forth. And so it really depends on what the dynamic of the scene is as we're going in. But for us, it's interesting because at the end of a production, you finally actually get the whole cast together. We just did a cast dinner a little over a month ago, where we had everyone over for dinner. We sat down and we watched the movie, and it was the first time everyone had really gotten to come together. And it's like a family reunion of family that some people had never met each other, and that was really special, honestly.